Hi, boys and girls. How are you? This is your coach, Noel, and I'm so excited to be working with you today on this math lesson. Parents, I want to welcome you. Boys and girls, let's go ahead and let's get started, okay? So what we're working on today are long division problems with one-digit divisors, and we're dividing up to the hundredths place, okay? So what I want you to take notice of is on this one we have 80 and 60 hundredths divided by 3, okay? And how am I going to do that? Let's see. I'm just going to divide normally. Okay, I'm going to put my pretend multiplication sign right there, and then I'm just going to get started. This decimal point that's here, I'm just going to put it up on top, right above it, okay? And that's all I have to do, and I'm just going to divide as usual. Ready? How many times can 3 go into 8? 3 times 2 is 6. 3 goes into 8 2 times. Okay, so I put my 2 there. I put my 6 down there, my subtraction sign, my line. 8 take away 6 is 2. Then I got to drop down the 0. So now I have 20. Okay, how many times can 3 go into 20? Well, I know that 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. Whoops, I passed it. It's got to be 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. I put my 18 up here. I subtract. I put my line. Then 20 minus 18 is 2. Then I'm going to drop down the 6. Now I have 26. Okay? How many times can 3 go into 26? Well, I know that 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. I passed it. I can't use 9. It has to be 8. So I'm going to put the 8 right here. 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to put my 24 right there, my minus sign, my line, and I'm ready now. 26 minus 24 is 2. I'm going to put my 2 right there, and this last 0 here, I'm going to drop it all the way down. Okay? So how many times can 3 go into 20? 3 can go into 20 6 times. I'm going to put my 6 right there. 3 times 6 equals 18. What's 3 times 7? 21. Well, I need 20, so I passed it, so it definitely has to be 6. 3 times 6 equals 18. I put it there, my minus sign, and my line. 20 minus 18 is 2. So the answer is going to be 26 and 86 hundredths, remainder 2. Okay? Now let's take a look at the next one. The next one, it's going to be 3 and 728 thousandths divided by 5 tenths. Okay? So I want you to take notice of a couple things. Here we have a decimal point right there in our divisor, and there we have another one there as well. Okay? We need to do something about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this decimal point by crossing out this one here, and because I only have one space in between our decimal point, and by making it a whole number, I'm just going to move it one time. So I'm going to start here, I'm going to move it one time. Our decimal points is going to belong there now, and I'm going to get rid of that decimal point too, as you can see there. Now I just have a clean 5, no decimal point. And now, instead of 3 and 728 thousandths, now I have 37 and 28 hundredths. Okay? So, as you can see, we moved our decimal point there. So now it's right there after the 7. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and divide like normal. Okay? And I'm going to have my pretend multiplication sign right there. I see it. It's right there. Okay? I know it's there. Okay? So let's see. Can 5 go into 3? Well, it can. It can go 0 times, but I'm not going to waste my time right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if 5 can go into 37. Well, I know that 5 times 7 is 35. What's 5 times 8? 40. Well, 40 is too big, so that's not going to work. Okay? So I need 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. I'm going to put my 35 right there. I'm going to put my subtraction sign, my line, and then I'm going to subtract. 37 minus 35 is 2. Now that I have that, I'm going to drop down this 2, and I'm going to see how many times 5 can go into 22. I know 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. Well, I passed it, so it's got to be 4. I'm going to put our 4 here. 5 times 4 is 20. I'm going to put my 20 down here, my subtraction sign, my line, and then it's going to be 22 minus 20 equals 2. Once I have that, then I'm going to drop down this 8, and now I have 28. How many times can 5 go into 28? Well, let's see. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. Well, I only need 28. 30 is definitely past 28, so I'm going to use 5. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to put my 25 here, my subtraction sign, my line, and then I'm going to subtract. 28 minus 25 equals 3. And I could have stopped right there, but I'm going to add a 0. That's new. I'm adding this 0, and I'm going to drop it down and see what happens, okay? So now, can 5 go into 30? Yes, it can. Absolutely. It can go into 36 times. 5 times 6, I'm going to put the 6 up there, is 30. So I'm going to put the 30 down here. 30 minus 30 is 0. So the answer is going to be 7 and 456 thousandths. Okay? Now, you're probably wondering why I didn't add another 0 right here. I'm going to tell you why, okay? And I could have totally done it, but I was like, I'm not going to do it because I just don't want to keep seeing this 2 over and over again. Now, imagine if I had a 0 here. Just imagine, okay? If I drop down that 0, what number is that going to be? 20. And guess what? 3 goes into 20 6 times, so I would have to add another 6 right there. 3 times 6 is 18. 20 minus 18 is going to be 2 again. And if I add another 0, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. That's why I just stopped right here. But because I had a 3 here, and this 30 is different than this 28, I said, okay, let's try this out and see if I can just get an even number with no remainder and see if that's possible. And guess what? It just took 1 0 and it made it a number without a remainder, which is great. Okay? So that's pretty much it, boys and girls. Long division with one digit divisors and utilizing the hundredths place with these decimal points. So boys and girls, let me remind you of a couple things. Number one, your parents have a PDF file of this. There's 20 pages worth of practice problems, okay? So go ahead and do a page or 2 a week. Not a rush. You've got plenty to do. Believe me, you've got plenty to do, okay? And I want you to master all of these concepts step by step. And they're going to be easy for you, I promise you. All you have to do is just practice, okay? The second thing I want to remind you of is that you are outstanding, okay? And outstanding students put forth an outstanding effort, okay? So take your time, let's master it, and remember, anytime you need to view this lesson again, view it again. It's okay. If you get a little stuck, just come back to it, take a look at it, and believe me, you are going to just get it, practice the problems, and the more you practice, the better you will get. I absolutely promise you. The only thing that will make it difficult for you is if you still have not yet mastered your multiplication facts. If you haven't, you absolutely have to master that. You have to practice that. Multiplication has to be as easy as spelling the word the. How do you spell the word the? T-H-E. The. You don't even have to think about it. That's what I want you to do with multiplication as well, boys and girls. I want you not to even have to think about it. So the only way this is going to be tough for you is if you haven't mastered multiplication. That's the only way. Because we're going over this step by step. I'm showing you the recipe. I'm showing you the strategy. And all you need to do is just implement the recipe, implement the strategy, and I promise you that this is going to be easy for you. And if you need help, just reach out and we will help you. Not a problem. Okay, so parents, I want to thank you very much again. Boys and girls, we shall see you very, very soon at our next math lesson. With that said, please take care, everyone. Bye-bye.